Enhance your experience by becoming a supporting member. Gain access to unseen videos and video requests. 3-day free trial by visiting zionmembership.com. Chosen ones, MPERPs. A mistake a lot of victims make when dealing with the narcissist involved in their life is they think that when the narcissist goes on to a new supply, that this was just something off a whim, you see. Like they just acted on a whim, they went with a new supply, and it wasn't really thought about that deeply. But what you got to do is backtrack quite a little bit back to the last days of the relationship when you're involved with this narcissist in your life. And what you will see when you dig deep is they were putting out temperament checkers, right? And what I mean by temperament checkers is they were doing certain things towards you to run an assessment on the way that you will behave. And most likely what they done, they could have done things on given days like push you away a little, or acted cold, or acted distant, and they saw that you didn't respond well to that type of behavior. Naturally, you're not going to, because you thought you were in a loving, caring relationship. So when your partner acts cold, when your partner acts distant, when your partner acts not interested in you, not showing you the love, you're not going to respond well to that type of treatment, you see. You're not going to respond well. But the way their assessment and their understanding is, they see you in a position of desperation, right? They see you in a position that you need them, right? So what starts to happen in the psychology of the narcissist that was involved in your life is they start to think, this person needs me. This person desires me, right? I can get them doing what I want them to do, right? And maybe, they treated you mean on a certain given day, and on the way home from work, you stopped and bought them some gifts. Like, you didn't know what was happening, and it's not your fault. Perhaps you stopped and you bought them some gifts to cheer them up, or you bought them some perfume, or you bought them some flowers, or you bought them some chocolates, or you just bought them a gift of some kind. You bought them some clothes, or you done something, right? You done something for them. You took them out for a meal. You tried to romanticize them, right? And it wasn't like you were just trying to win them over. You generally saw your partner feeling down, looking down, being distant, not being so loving, but this was all an act. Right? They felt very much connected with you. They were very much still in love with you. They very much, just to clarify, a narcissist love is warped. A narcissist love is deranged. A narcissist love is obsessive. Yes, but they still felt this way towards you, but they can put on any mask that they choose to do, can't they? Just like they've done at the beginning. They could put on the mask of the love bomb, and they could quickly switch the mask to someone who's cold and callous and starts operating with devaluation and disregard, right? They can change their mask whenever they like. So this is what they've done to you. They put on a mask and they acted distant, they acted unloving, they acted displeased, and this put you in a vulnerable position because you were witnessing your partner, someone you love, someone who you thought you would be together lifelong, someone who you thought you would grow old with. You saw them not their usual selves, right? But what they were doing here is the temperament checker, like I mentioned. They were assessing how you deal with this. Now, don't blame yourself, right? Don't blame yourself. But I'm just going to put this out there. If you, for example, said you didn't start, how can I best describe this? You didn't start trying to please them, right? They would have backed away from this approach immediately because they would have seen it wasn't working, right? But when they saw you go out and get some lavish gifts, or you took them out on a dinner date, or you started trying more, they saw you start trying more, they realized that the further they pull away from you, the more stronger your love becomes. So what they got a realization, right, at that moment, that hang about, they need to treat you badly to get a positive response from you, right? This is what they finally realized. You see, throughout the relationship, they were manipulating you, they were devaluing you, they were showing glimpses of this behavior, but they wasn't doing anything thoroughly, right? They wasn't being thoroughly horrible, all the time. They were trauma bonding you, they were offering you bits of love bomb, they were offering you bits of devaluation, a bit of smear campaign, a bit of gaslighting. They were kind of conjuring it all up into a mixture, and they wasn't being very decisive in the way that they were treating you thoroughly all the time. But given off this temperament checker that they realized towards the end of the relationship, they realized if they push you further away, the harder you're going to come back, right? This is what they did. And don't blame yourself for actually, that's what a genuine person will do. You thought you wasn't as aware as you are now of narcissism. Even if you were watching narcissism at the time, you wasn't like, you might have thought some of these videos are making sense, some of them are not. Like, you wasn't really awakened to the level that you are now, at least, right? And some of you didn't even know about narcissism, full stop, right? So don't blame yourself. Genuine relationships, loving relationships, authentic relationships between non-narcissistic people, their partners down. The way that I look at it is like, you're not always going to be able to be given your full potential, each of you, like sometimes a partner will only be able to give 30%. So, the other partner should chip in with the 70% and do the little bit extra to help pick up the other partner when they're feeling low or feeling down, and then help them get back up to their 50%. So you're both running at 50% again, offering 100% in a grand total. That's the way it should be. And vice versa, the time when you're feeling down or you're only running at 30%, your partner chips in, adds in an additional 20% and helps pick you up. That's the way it should operate in relationships, right? That's the way it should be, because you're not always going to both be giving the same potential on both your parts. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and it's up to each other to help each other out. So all you was doing in this given scenario, right, is you were trying to help your partner, someone who you love, someone who you cared about, feel a bit better in themselves, whether that was giving them a gift, whether that was going out to dinner, whatever it was that you tried to do in that given scenario, whether it was even just being kind to them or talking to them nicely or just trying to be nice or helping them out at home, helping them with the dishes, helping around the house, whatever it was you were doing, making dinner, or helping out with the kids more, looking after the kids, telling them to go on a night out, telling them to go have some fun with their friends. You were trying to just, you were giving a bit extra, right? And that's a natural thing that you should do, and you should be proud that you've done that. The only problem is you gave it to the wrong person, and this narcissist that was involved in your life didn't deserve it. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. Just like this video is showing up for you, help it show up for someone else. Any support will be well received, greatly appreciated and well received. Thank you so much in advance. But anyway, like I said, this narcissist got to the understanding that if they push you away, you're going to come back stronger, right? They assessed this, they knew it. Now, what starts to happen in their mind, no matter about you being an empath and a chosen one and having the most potent supply source, is they get an inflated sense of self, right? And they begin to start looking down at you, right? Don't let this offend you. Please don't take this to your heart and make you feel unloved or uncared for or anything like this. Like, how else can I describe this? Don't make you feel less than, What I'm trying to say to you is, in their illusional little minds, they began to get an inflated sense of self and began to look down at you, right? So they had this concept that if they push you further away, you're going to come back stronger. And remember, the whole objective of this narcissist involved in your life was to obtain supply from you. That was the whole agenda. That was the whole motive. They wanted your supply. So what they done now, what they decided to do, is they decided to court a new supply. Now, if you understand what I'm trying to get at here, for those of you that have witnessed this narcissist involved in your life going on with this new supply, it wasn't off a whim. Like I said in the earlier segment, this wasn't something just done out of nowhere, you know, like a lot of you believe. They thoroughly thought this through. And this is what makes it, I'm not justifying cheating or infidelity or anything like that, but I'm trying to say, if someone has premeditated this, thoroughly thought about it intensively, gone through it in their minds, it becomes even a bit more sicker. It's still sick nonetheless, someone cheating just off a whim. You know, it's still, you know, you should never let someone back who acts in this way. You know, if someone cheats just off a whim, they go out on a night out or they go out with their friends and they cheat, you know, it's just as bad. But I'm trying to say this is actually sick from the narcissist point of, like, from their own mindset. They've actually really deeply thought about this, and they've also governed it off how you respond. That's why they've gone through with it. They've seen that they push you further away, like I said, and they've seen you come back stronger with the love, right? So anyway, this narcissist involved in your life started courting a new supply, probably when you were still around, most likely. I can't fundamentally say that was the case. It might not be the case in your given scenario, but it's highly likely that they started courting a new supply, even if it was just an exchange of messages once a week, very slowly and gradual. They started courting a new supplier, right? And what their agenda was, is they wanted to push you away even further to make you come back. And what the objective of them is to convert you from a primary source of supply to a secondary source of supply, one that chases them, one that pursues them, one that doesn't let them go, one that becomes desperate and needy. And this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to make you feel jealous, needy, insecure. They wanted to play on any insecurities that you have, right? And they wanted to make you feel unloved and unwanted, right? This is what they wanted to do, to invoke a large amount of supply from yourself, okay? So anyway, but the problem is, the catch-22 of the narcissist involved in your life is, because they've been around you, because they're used to the high dopamine hit and neurological chemicals that they get from being around you, from being intimate with you, from being with you in general, right? They get a lot of, even non-intimate moments, they get a lot of neurological chemical releases in their brain, dopamine hits, serotonin, oxytocin. They get a lot of these dopamine hits from being around your presence, right? They feel this a lot in their minds because of how much of a potent supply you actually are. And just like I said, they got an inflated sense of self and began to look down at you, right? In their delusional minds, remember it's delusion, they started to look down on you. None of that is actually tangible. None of that is actually a realistic vision. This is all falsehood, right? They look at them looking down on you. It's not actually true. You are no lower than them, right? If anything, you're way beyond their level, right? But anyway, they started looking down at you, and this makes them make stupid choices, right? Where they lead their lives, okay? So they go on a dating app, or they meet someone in the street, or they line up a new supply. And because they're feeling, at this point, you're witnessing your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you're witnessing them be distant, you're witnessing them be non-compliant. Is that the right word? Like, they're not being their same usual selves. One, because they're already trying to entertain a new supplier. Two, because they've got an agenda and a motive, and this is the mask they're wearing now. They're acting like they're not interested in you, right? You're seeing this person act this way, be distant, be cold. So you're starting to give more and more and more and more, right? And they're soaking up that supply. They're loving it, right? But secretly, they're not showing you they're pleased from. They're not showing you that they're receiving these dopamine hits and these neurological chemicals occurring in their brains. They're not showing you that. They're just still operating with the mask, acting like they're disinterested, not pleased, and they're acting very distant with you, right? So eventually, this kind of situation is happening here, where they're acting distant and you're acting loving, is pushing them further and further away. Realistically, please don't blame yourself, but this is in their delusional minds. They're seeing like, right, I push them away. I act distant. And they come back stronger. That's what they're thinking, right? This is like a reinforcing recurrent theme that's playing around in their minds, right? So anyway, they go through with this jump. They monkey branch to a new supply. They discard you, reverse discard you. Perhaps they even started displaying such toxic tendencies towards you that you walked away from them. However it ended, it doesn't really matter. The whole thing that I'm trying to get at is they monkey branch to a dusty, low-hanging fruit, new supply, right? But this new supply, when they get over there, they're like, wow. They're relieved to be away from you. They don't want to hear from you, right? They've got enough supply from you, right? They don't want to hear from you in the way of... okay, let me paraphrase this again. They don't want to hear from you like in the way that you used to be together. Remember, like I said, they're converting you to a secondary source. They want you to be reaching out to them and being needy and begging for them back and hurt and betrayed and broken and crying and lost and just, you know, that's how they want you to be, right? Some of you may have gone that way. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Seeing someone who you love so much, seeing someone who you cared about during the last days, trying to pick up their mood, trying to care for them, looking after them, you know, seeing someone act so distant and so cold. You were going through an abusive situation prior to this scenario even happening, and then you witness them go on with a new supply very quickly. You're feeling alone, you're feeling unloved, you're feeling unwanted. It's very hurtful. Yes, you may cry. Yes, you may be down. Yes, you may be depressed. Yes, you may feel like your life is over. You know, in the worst case scenario, you know, even victims of narcissistic abuse start contemplating taking their own life. Please, if any of you are going through this, right, contemplation of taking your own life, please always remember these words, right? If you're ever getting what's the word called? Suicidal ideations, right? You're thinking things through, you're having suicidal ideations about taking your own life. Try and get through to the next day. If it's happening at night, get through to the morning. If you get through to the morning and make a cup of coffee, that's all I'm asking you to do. Something as small as that, just get through to the next day. Do not act on this thought process that's occurring in your mind. It's not going to achieve anything. You have people that love you, or even if you don't have people around you, you have people in your future that are going to love you, and you have people in your future that will need you, right? And I know you only want them right now, and you only can see them right now, but I promise you, there's people in your future that are going to love you. There's people in your future that are going to need you. If you have children, your children need you. If you don't have children, it's possible that in the future you're going to have children, and they're going to need you. You know, please, right? Just try and get through to the next day, because honestly, if you can try and empathize with someone who's actually gone through with that type of action, right? You know, in the moment, in the heat of the moment, yes, it feels like the right thing to do. You want to take your life, right? But however these people have done it, I'm sure that they start to regret it very suddenly, but it's already too late. You know? I'm sure of it. How you only can envision how people try to take their own lives, but when they've actually gone too far with whatever it is they've done, you know, they'll start to regret it. And what you've got to know is you're going through the dark night of the soul. You know, this is the dark night of the soul. You are going through a dark, painful period, and you will emerge much stronger and brighter. Even if you're not having suicidal ideations or, you know, taking your own life, thinking of taking your own life, and you're just down and depressed and upset, and, you know, you're going through the dark night of the soul. You're going through a spiritual, mental, physical cleanse that is you're gonna rise levels beyond this, right? But anyway, like I said, this narcissist has gone on with a new supply. They've made you the secondary source of supply. They want you chasing after them, right? They want you begging for them back. They want you upset. They want you, you know. And like I said, some of you may have been acting in this way, but others of you might not have. right? However it is, even if you didn't act in this way, you didn't act needy, you didn't beg for them back, you didn't chase after them, all of you collectively, stop. You know, some of you might have chased after them. If you have chased after them, stop chasing after them from this point onwards, from when you hear this video. Doesn't matter if you've chased after them for months. Stop from this point onwards, right? And for those of you that haven't chased after them or didn't pursue them, you may still be hurt and upset, and we'll get into that. It's very good what you've done by not pursuing them. So anyway. Now, the only difference that occurs for those of you that pursued them after they went off with this new supply, to those of you that just didn't pursue them, right? Is those of you that pursued them, please listen to what I'm saying. Those of you that pursued them, it's just going to delay their realization that they fucked up, okay? But for those of you that didn't pursue them, they realize quicker that they've made a mess and fucked up, okay? Now, you remember, like I said in the earlier segment, I said that they got an inflated sense of self because when they were pulling away, when they were acting distant, and you were acting loving and caring, they made an assessment and thought, right, they'll pull away and it will make you feel, it will make you love stronger, it will make you come back stronger, right? And that's why I'm saying the key is to stop chasing after them. That is the key, right? Leave them to get on with it. Because, like I said, they make bad decisions. They make a mess. If you notice what I've discussed in this video, right? And it's going on a little longer than usual, so I hope you're still here. But what I'm trying to get to is they made a whole mess out of the ending of the relationship with their behavior, when all you was trying to do was love them and be kind to them and look after them and support them and make them feel better about themselves. Because you thought they were feeling down. You thought they were acting a certain way because, and it was something you could fix, right? You were just generally trying to care about them. But in their minds, they thought that they want to go to a new supply, demote you to a secondary source and make you feel jealous, unwanted, unloved, to make you become this needy person that chases after them, pursues them, begs for them back, is broken. Remember, narcissists that are involved in your life, touching back on the suicidal ideation, one of their fundamental goals, and not a lot of people understand this, but something that really tickles their appetite, is actually imagining their former partner or former supply taking their own life over them. You know, that will give them innumerable amounts of supply. So that's something you don't want to do, because they would actually be pleased off that. You know, they would actually be sadistically pleased and stimulated off that. And that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to give them no more supply, right? But look, they've made a bad decision, okay? So let's say now you've stopped pursuing them. What's an estimate of time? Say you chased after them for a bit at the beginning, or maybe you didn't, right? Regardless. If you chased after them for a bit at the beginning, you know, if you give it a few weeks, a month, and you're not chasing after them, they're going to start questioning why you're not chasing after them. If you if you didn't chase after them at all, they're going to realize very quickly in a few weeks or a month, they're going to start to realize they made a bad decision, because the infatuation stage wears off with this new supply. And remember, the only thing that was making this new relationship feel something that was good in their minds was because they still had you around, right? When they had you around, when they were sneaking around, right? Talking to this new supply, doing all this stuff behind your back, they were still getting loads of supply from you, right? They were going over to the new supply, telling them that you treat them bad, telling them that you do this, and the whole relationship that was built off the back of you. That's what you got to understand. So eventually, this narcissist that was involved in your life realizes they made a fucking huge mess, right? And they're over there with this dusty new supply, right? And they're thinking, shit. They know they fucked up, right? But they know how much they hurt you. They know how much they fucking hurt you. They betrayed you. They dragged you through the mud. They know this, right? So think about it logically, right? You've stopped reaching out to them. They start questioning, thinking, shit, maybe they should have responded to something you said earlier, right? They don't know how to, they're stuck with this new supply. They made this mess and they're stuck with this new supply. But now this is when it all starts flooding into them. They're starting to desire to be back with you. They're starting to desire to be back with you. They want their old life back. They want to be back with you. But they don't know how to get there. Right? They cheated on you. They ran out on you. They lied to you. They broke you, right? And they finally, their bubbles popped. And wherever they are with this dusty new supply, they're looking at this new supply. They're not attracted to that new supply the same way that they're attracted to you, right? And one thing that you got to understand is absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's why I'm telling you, do not contact them. Leave them be, right? You actually pursuing them makes them, you actually pursuing them turns them off, you see? Like, they'll keep you as a secondary source of supply. You stay at that level, all right? If you're pursuing them, chasing after them, begging for them back, they'll just say, push you away, push you away, push you away. Like they were doing in the last days of the relationship. Being cold, being distant, being mean, pushing you away, right? You remember? Like what they were doing? That's what they were doing, okay? And you didn't realize what was happening. That's what I'm saying. You've got to get it into your head. Less is more. You don't need to pursue them, right? Now you got to understand as well. Anyone that's been acting distant, cold, horrible, mean, cheated on you, lied to you, right? Done these things, ran out on it with a new supply eventually, right? When all the times when they were being distant, cold, you were trying to help them, you were trying to support them, you were trying to love them, and secretly they had a whole nother life going on behind your back, right? They had a whole nother life going on behind your back with this new supply, right? And all you was trying to do was love them. So eventually, when someone goes through and discards you, reverse discards you, or become so toxic, you cut them off and they just monkey branch to a dusty, low-hanging fruit, right? You can never take that person back. You need to know that in your heart, mind, and soul. You deserve so much more, right? So this video isn't going to help you get this person back, right? They're going to try and come back to you eventually. They're going to try and come back to you eventually. At some point in time, they'll try and come back to you. However that might be. They'll try and come back to you eventually because they've made a fucking huge mess of this new relationship that they're in. They might have already tried to hoover you already, and some of you might have rejected them, right? Some of you might not even realize it was a hoover. You just thought it was a message. They might have already tried to hoover you, or and some of you just thought it was a message or a phone call or some contact on social media. You didn't really realize they were trying to hoover you already. So just know that this narcissist that was involved in your life is fucking out there. And they're not fucking enjoying life at all. They're pissed. They made the stupidest decision of their lives to let you go for someone else. Now what you can do, right, is you can take this experience as a blessing, right? Because you thought you were in a loving, caring relationship and you made a mistake. It's not your fault. They tricked you. But you made a mistake. And you've learned a lot of lessons from being involved with someone like this. You've learned a lot of lessons, right? So you need to take this as a blessing And you need to let them make their bed and lay in it, right? They've made their bed. Let them fucking lay in it, right? Do not let them build a bridge back across to you. They don't even know how to build a bridge back across to you because they're fucking idiots, right? They don't know how to, like, rectify the situation because look how cold they was. Look how fucking cold they was. During those last days, all you were trying to do is support them, care for them and that. Like, and they're going behind your back and talking to new suppliers, lining up new suppliers. Right? That's what they done. And they thought, because they making stupid decisions, that this new supply was a better option for them. So now that they've got over there and they've realized it's not a better option for them, don't let them back. Don't let them back. You know? They desire in you. They want you. They need you. They need you back. They will never find someone like you again. Right? This new relationship they're in with this new supply, with this narcissist involved in your life, this new relationship they're in, could be short-lived. Could be short-lived, could be over in no time. And they might just go on their journey trying to find a new supply that can top you. They're not going to find it, but they might try and attempt to. Or out of desperation because they're aging, they're going through the narcissistic collapse, they might just start to cling to this new supply because they know they can't find no one else. Right? Plus, they're already losing their fucking minds because they've realized how much they fucked up already by losing you. You know? You just got to understand. Don't reach out to them. Let them go. Right? It's highly likely that this narcissist involved in your life will contact you at some point in time. It's highly likely. Right? It's highly likely they will contact you at some point in time. And the reason why they delay not contacting you is because they want you to contact them. Right? Remember, just like they acted distant, they acted like they didn't care, they were acting distant, they were acting cold during the last days of the relationship, right? They were trying to bait you and make you chase after them. It's the same thing they'll do now because that's in their DNA. That's what they're about, right? They got them so far to a point where they thought they were in a new, beautiful relationship, only for that world to come tumbling down and crashing down on them and making them realize they made the worst mistake of their lives in losing you. So they have to live with this desire for you. They have to learn to live with this desire. They will be haunted by your absence at every waking moment. They will never forget what you've done for them. They'll never forget who you are. They will never forget that. Right? Some of you helped these narcissists that are involved in your life when they're at their lowest point. You know? They're at their lowest point. And some of you helped them. Pick them up. Help them. Looked after them. Loved them. Cared for them. They're not going to find that. They're just not. They're just not going to find that. And they will always remember what you've done for them. Right? They'll always remember what you've done for them. Yeah, they might find a new supplier that sleeps with them. Yeah, they might find a new supplier that does that. But they're not going to find someone that is the whole package like you were. They're not going to find that whole package like you was. Right? So just understand that the narcissist made a mess. They're stuck with this new supply. But they desire to be back with you. And this desire won't go away. It's always going to be a burning desire in their chest that they want to somehow come back to you. But they know they fucked up. They know they dragged you through the mud. They know they caused you pain. And the longer they leave it, is the stronger you become. It's the more, this is what you got to understand, the longer that they leave it and don't contact you, you know, they'll start regretting that on top of things. They'll start thinking maybe they should have reached out to you sooner. You know? Especially by the time the Hoover does come round and you reject them. That's what they'll start doing. Remember, narcissists that are involved in your life aren't sure of themselves. They don't trust God. They don't trust the universe. You know, they're not sure of their actions. They get pissed off and annoyed with the way life works out for them, you know. So when they start, when they do hoover you or reach out to you and you reject them, the only thing left they've got to do is regret they didn't reach out to you sooner while you were still hurt or betrayed or broken. And you've got to count your blessings that they didn't reach out to you sooner, you know. Because if they did reach out to you sooner, and that's why some of you that did beg for them back, to pursue them at the beginning, maybe that happened for a blessing for you. You know, you were still trying to love them, you were still trying to be pure, you were still trying to communicate with them, and that made them be more distant for a time. But that distance probably is actually a godsend, you know. Them pulling away a bit more, giving you a bit of space, actually enabled you to become stronger, more resilient, grow, evolve, develop, and not want them back. You see? Remember, things are working out in your favor for the best for you. It's not working out in the favor for the narcissist or it's best for them. That's a very common misunderstanding that a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse have. You know, they think that somehow it's working out in the narcissist's favor. You know, it's not. It's not working out in their favor. You know, it's really not. Honestly, it's not working out in their favor. This is not a narcissist world. You know, the universe, you know, you're chosen, you're an empath. God's looking after you, the universe is looking after you. God knows what's best for you even when it don't make sense. And the universe knows what's best for you even when it don't make sense. Right? So cling firmly to the rope of God or the rope of the universe and trust in the process. Everything is going to work out just fine. Right? And it's already working out just fine. Already. This parasite that betrayed you, this parasite that ran out on you, this parasite that went to a new supply and monkey branch to a dusty low-hanging fruit, they're fucking being punished for their actions, right? In every waking moment. They desire you back. They want you back. They're haunted by your absence. And please, don't let them back. Don't let them back. You know, keep them gone. Count it as a blessing. You know, anyone that walks out of your life, anyone that walks out of a chosen one, an empath's life, it's their loss, not yours. Anyone. It's their loss. They lost you. You're the prize. You know? Fuck them. Screw them. You don't need them. You don't need them. Be assured of yourself. Trust in it. You don't need them. I promise you, you don't need them. You're going to find better. You're going to do better. You're going to succeed in life. You're going to find new career paths, new businesses, new projects, new hobbies, new people. You're going to find so much better in life. Just give it time. Go through the little cleansing period. You know, the solitary period when you're alone. It might hurt a bit. You go through that period. You're gonna emerge brighter than ever before, shining brighter than ever before. And when this narcissist catches wind of you, because they are watching you, many of you active on social media, they are watching you. You know, they're gonna be so pissed that they lost out even more. They're gonna be even more pissed. You know, like I always say, who you need to be in this narcissist that was involved in your life is you need to be someone that it is virtually not possible, right, for them to get back into your life. You need to make it more plausible or more possible or more probable for them to be able to DM 1,000 celebrities and get a response and a date than it is to be with you. You know, you need to be that off their radar. You know, they got more chance with anyone else but you. They got more chance with anybody else but you. You're the prize, and you will always punish them that way. You know, they know that they could. The thing is, who you become in their life is you become a person, the only person they desire, and you become the only person they can't have. That's what it comes down to. You become the only person in the world they can't have. And you are the only person who they desire and want. Right? So don't worry about a thing. Things are going to work out the best for you. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like a one-to-one session, or you'd like to join the end of the month empath group meeting, you can find the link in the description box. If you would like email consultation, you can find the link for the email crisis support in the description box. And if you'd like to know more about You're Irreplaceable and the Narcissist Knows It, what the narcissist wants you to do, click this video here. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.